There's many iconic movies of the 1970s from Canada that still resonate both nationally and internationally, but the one that kind of kicked it off, it featured an American actor in the movie that won an Oscar within 3 years of this release. Now, 2024 marks the 50th anniversary of this International City and Media Center and Canadian Film Development Corporation film. And of course, it has to be The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz. Now, released on April 11, 1974, at 120 minutes, based on the Mordechai Richler novel of the same name. The movie was directed by Ted Kotcheff and adapted by Richler and Lionel Chetwynd from, again, Richler's novel. It stars Richard Dreyfuss as the title character, a brash young Jewish Montrealer who embarks on a string of get-rich schemes in a bid to gain respect and also to buy land for a resort area. The cast also features Micheline Lanco, Randy Quaid, Joseph Wiseman, Denham Elliott, Joel Silver, and Jack Warden. Now, it won the Golden Bear at the 24th Berlin International Film Festival, and The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz has been described as a coming of age for Canadian cinema, as both a widespread critical and commercial success internationally. It won a Canadian Film Award for Best Motion Picture. It was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay and a Golden Globe Award for Best Foreign Film. Back then, English non-American films could be nominated. The film has been designated as a masterwork by the Audiovisual Preservation Trust of Canada. Now, Duddy is a brash, restless young Jewish man growing up in poverty in Montreal. His cab driver, Father Max, and his rich uncle Benji are very proud of Duddy's older brother Lenny, who Benji is putting through medical school. Only his grandfather shows the motherless Duddy any attention. Now, Duddy gets a summer job as a waiter at a kosher resort hotel in the Laurentians. His hustle, energy, and coarse manners irritate condescending college student and fellow waiter Irwin. Irwin gets his girlfriend Linda, the daughter of the hotel's owner, to persuade Duddy to stage a clandestine roulette game. Unbeknownst to Duddy, the roulette wheel is crooked and he loses his entire $300 earnings to Irwin and some hotel guests. The other waiters found out and make Irwin give back the money. Unaware of this, the hotel guests, led by Farber, feel bad and give him a further $500. Now, when he starts a romantic relationship with another hotel employee, French-Canadian Yvette, one day Yvette takes him on a picnic beside the lake. Duddy is stunned by the beauty of the setting, and his ambition crystallizes, taking to heart his grandfather's maxim that a man without land is nobody. He decides he will buy all the property around the lake and develop it. Because Duddy is under 21, then the age of majority in Canada, the current owners might not want to sell to a Jew, so he gets Yvette to front for him. Duddy sets out to raise the money he needs. He hires blacklisted alcoholic film director Fryer, played by the great Denham Elliott, to film weddings and bar mitzvahs. His first customer is Farber, who drives a hard bargain. If he does not like the result, he will not pay. Despite Fryer's artistic pretensions, the film is a success, and more orders are quickly forthcoming. However, when a piece of land comes up for sale, Duddy does not have money. He begs his father to get him an appointment with his friend Dinkelman, the boy wonder, a rich, successful businessman come gangster who had equally humble beginnings. Dinkelman turns down his request for a loan, but later invites him to discuss a scheme on a train to New York. It turns out that Dinkelman just wants a drug mule to unknowingly take the risk of smuggling heroin. Now, on the train, Duddy meets good-natured Virgil and offers to buy his pinball machines, which are legal in the States. When Virgil shows up, Duddy does not have enough money to pay him, so he hires Virgil as a truck driver, even though he has epilepsy. Virgil unfortunately has a seizure while driving, and he crashes. He is left paralyzed from the waist down. Duddy is distraught and guilt-ridden. Blaming Duddy, Yvette leaves him to care for Virgil. Now, Duddy becomes alarmed when Dinkelman finds out about his lake. When the last piece of property Duddy needs comes to the market, Dinkelman bids for it. Desperate, Duddy forges Virgil's signature on a check to buy the land, leading to a final rupture with Yvette and Virgil. Now, undeterred, Duddy proudly takes Max, Lenny's grandfather, to see his property. When Dinkelman shows up to offer to raise the financing for this development, Duddy mocks him. Duddy's grandfather, however, refused to pick out a plot for his farm, as Yvette told him what Duddy did to get it. Duddy tries but fails to reconcile with Yvette, and she tells him that she never wants to see him again. In the final scene, Duddy has risen far enough to run a tab at a local diner. and he's farther boasts about how his son made it. Now, of course, the big actors here: Jack Warden, underrated performance as Duddy's father; Randy Quaid as Virgil, an early performance; Joseph Wiseman plays Duddy's uncle Benji, and with Denham Elliott looking very much as Denham Elliott as Friar. Lionel Chetwynd was commissioned, get this, by John G. Kemeny to write a script based on Richler's novel, The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz. The first draft was sent to Richler, who then showed it to his friend Ted Kotcheff. Kotcheff said he would direct the movie, and Richler wrote the second draft. The film was shot from 10 September to 14 November to 73, after 910,000, equivalent to $6.057 million in 2023, was spent. 300,000 came from the Canadian Film Development Corporation, and the remainder was raised by Gerald Schneider. Mikos Lente also was the director of photography for the first 2 weeks of filming, but was replaced by Brian West. Now, the film was actually Kotcheff's second adaptation of Richler's 1959 novel. In 1961, he had directed a TV play for ITV's Armchair Theatre based on Kravitz, with Hugh Futcher in the title role. Now, American producer Samuel Z. Arkoff was approached to make the film, but wanted to turn Duddy into a Greek character. Now, a few Canadians were cast in major roles at the time because the Canadian film industry was underdeveloped. Now, the Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz premiered at the Place des Arts on 11 April 1974, and it was released worldwide the next day. The film grossed 60,000, equivalent to 359,000 in 2023, at the Place Ville-Marie and Town Cinema 1 week after its release. The film was then the most commercially successful English-language Canadian film ever made at the time of its release, with a gross of $2.3 million in Canada. Including the U.S., the film earned theatrical rentals of $1.7 million, and the CFDC made $334,000 from its investment in the film. Now, in 1984, in Edmonton, The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz was adapted to musical. A 1987 adaptation was directed by Austin Pendleton and premiered in Philadelphia. A newly updated version of the musical had its debut in Montreal in 2015 with music by Alan Menken, book and lyrics by David Spencer, and directed by Pendleton. Now, Duddy Kravitz has an important place in Canadian history due to his record gross, and the TIFF ranked in the top 10 Canadian films of all time twice, in 1984 and 1993. Now, in the period between shooting Duddy and already seeing the completed movie, Richard Dreyfuss was offered and twice turned down the role of Matt Hooper in Jaws. Having read the script, he decided it was a film he would rather watch than be in. After he had seen the final cut of Kravitz, however, Dreyfuss felt his performance was so bad that it could potentially end his movie career. He just bullshitted. It was a good performance, but that's the story he likes to take. Discovering that the role of Hooper was still not being cast, he jumped in it to ensure they was safely under contract to make another movie before anybody at Universal heard any negative press about Kravitz. There was no negative press. Bullshit. Anyway, he was also shown as part of the Cannes Classic section of the 2013 Cannes Film Festival. Now, it won Best International Film Festival at Berlin, the Golden Bear, the Film of the Year at the Canadian Film Awards, and the Writers Guild of America Award for Best Comedy, adapted from another medium, Mordechai Richler and Lionel Chetwynd. Now, it was nominated for an Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay, one of the few times a Canadian writer has been nominated, and the Golden Globe Award for Best Foreign Film. But getting back what Dreyfuss said, complete and total bullshit. Anybody who watches the movie notices Dreyfuss had a very strong performance. I think he just basically, he's always been a little bit of a nut bar, but I mean, he's playing a Jew in Montreal, and he's a Jew American, so wasn't too much of a stretch. Especially what he called the William Shatner Jew from Quebec. So I mean, but the movie is just tremendous. It flows really fast, but it comes across as almost like a mini series. I like to see what the cut scenes were, and for a Canadian drama, 2 hours, it was quite intense. And Randy Quaid is very good as the epileptic, and but the scene at the resort basically is a classic of Canadian cinema, or what they call Jewish cinema. So I give Duddy a 3 stars out of 4. If you have a chance to see it on Hollywood Suite in Canada this week, do so. Some Canadians haven't seen it. I think there's 10 left, so I think everybody was showing this movie in high school or late night viewings on CBC. It was a staple of CBC back in the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Canadian Movie Podcast, let us know in a like, comment, subscribe, or share.